All right, I'd like to call to order the Town of Delafield Board of Supervisors meeting for Tuesday, October 12th. If you'd all rise and join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Supervisors Deanasopoulos.
Present.
Kranik.
Present.
Wolfley.
Present.
Michaels.
Present.
Chairman Troy.
Present.
Thank you.
Citizens' comments. Public comments are welcome regarding items that are or are not on the agenda. The board may not engage in a discussion with the citizen making the comments. Individual presentations are limited to 3 minutes, and citizens shall follow the rules set forth in section 2.04 sub 1 sub D of the town code. Anybody care to address the board on any topic?
Thanks for your time. Jim Frett, N19W29056 Gulf Ridge North. Just quick, I just was wondering if we could, I know as a resident, I'm not sure if we can add or remove from an agenda, but just asking if we consider putting the farm back on the agenda for the next town board meeting. That's all. Thank you. We're looking for an update. Thanks.
Okay, anybody else care, Mr. Harry? Okay, I'll move on, but you can always call Dan for an update anytime. So, approval of the minutes of the September 28th, 2021 meeting. I believe they were sent out corrected this afternoon or this morning.
I move to approve the minutes of the September 28th, 2021 meeting as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the meeting of September 28th as submitted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Action on vouchers submitted for payment. I believe there are amendments to the 2021 budget.
They will be on the next board agenda.
No, on the next board agenda.
Correct.
Okay. And then accounts payable and payroll.
Running.
Is there a sheet?
Use them.
No, there's not a sheet.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll
give you
just
the
give
numbers.
Mr. Kranik, Supervisor Kranik, here, can do it.
Looks like approval of, for accounts payable, checks 65046 through 65054, and checks 65057 through 65086, in the amount of $235,034.53. And for payroll dated October 15th, 2021, in the amount of $13,781.21.
I'll second.
I have a motion on approval for accounts payable and payroll as submitted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Communications for discussion and possible action, waste hauler services, Waukesha County RFP process discussion only. We'll get an update, quickie update from the town administrator.
Sure. So we had a meeting yesterday with the county to discuss the results of the RFP. We're still going through those results. We also have financials that we're going through too, so we're following up with the different groups. And once we have some clearer answers, then we'll get back to you with what we learned. But for now, we're still kind of going through the process. So, and then we'll have to follow up with questions with the vendors as well. So we'll give you an update when we learn more.
Shouldn't be long though.
And nothing standing out as an issue or problem as it's progressing, right?
No, everything looks good so far. So.
Okay. Then I'm going to call on Town Supervisor Kranik to address the Towns Association District meeting Wednesday, October 27th.
Sure.
My understanding is you've been elected or appointed to that board?
I was elected at the last county unit meeting as the vice chairman of the Towns Association for the Waukesha County unit. Sharon Leclerc, the chairman, at the last meeting asked if the town of Delafield would host the next upcoming meeting, which is Wednesday, October 27th, at 6:30, with the program following after. She asked really because we're going to have representatives from the Wisconsin Towns Association come and give a update on the ARPA funds and what can and can't be used with it. Really, it should be a good presentation, but because the town of Delafield's got a nice central location within the county and nice, easy interstate access, that's why we were asked to host the meeting this Wednesday, the 27th of October, 2021.
It starts at 6:30, or the program starts at 6:30?
The food and beverages start at 6:30 with a program to follow afterwards.
Great.
It starts pretty
But
quick.
pretty quick after that 6:30.
Okay.
And I would strongly encourage everyone who can attend to attend. The funds are going to be a major budget issue for next year. They're not in the budget, but we're going to figure out how to spend them most productively for the town. And the more knowledge we have, I think the more effective our discussions will be. So I would strongly encourage everybody to attend. I plan on attending. So any other questions for
No,
Supervisor
congrats, Ed.
Bradley?
Way to go.
My sympathies for people. There's no unfinished business. We'll move to new business.
I guess I just, one quick piece on that, just because also Jim had asked about it. I mean, we did ask for an update from the Thomas family, like a month or
On
two
the
ago.
agenda.
Not on the agenda.
Can't discuss it at all?
Okay.
If it's not on the agenda, we
Yeah,
can't
I
discuss
just-
it. I mean, call Dan, he'll give you a complete
Yeah,
update.
yeah, I guess was clarity that we hadn't heard anything. So,
Yeah.
okay.
9A, discussion and possible action on the approval of a certified survey map to create 3 parcels of land located at W334 S828 Cushing Park Road for John and Teresa Singer.
All right, I have placed up on the screen here the certified survey map. This particular map was, actually, it's off of Cushing Park Road. It was one parcel divided into 3 parcels. This was actually approved, I'm just going to go to the next slide so I can get my dates right. Approved July 7th by the Plan Commission of 2020, and then July 14th of 2020 by the board. It wasn't presented to us until recently for actually recording, but the statutes require that it be recorded within 12 months of the July 14th meeting. It was not. And so, so it's before you to make another approval. Plan Commission had seen this last week and made a unanimous approval or reapproval of that. And we're recommending that the same be done by the board. This one's dated, that's CSM is dated February 3rd, 20. Nothing has changed on it for the most.
Yes, it's the same thing we approved a year ago.
Yep.
Motion to approve the certified survey map to create 3 parcels of land located at W334S828 Cushing Park Road for John and Teresa Singer, CSM dated February 3rd, 2021.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the certified survey map for the Cushing Road, Park Road item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. 9B, John Spheres, developer of the Retreat Subdivision, regarding consideration and possible action on the approval of the final plat for the retreats. Again, Tim.
All right. Up on the screen, you see the retreat. This is off of Norms Road, which is off Elmhurst Road, County Highway G. They are in the process of putting in the roads. John's hoping for good weather for the next month, and hopefully it'll get done. They do have stone on some of the roads. Regardless of where they're at in construction, Mr. Spheres has come before us with the final plat. This is the document that gets signed and recorded, creates the lots, and then he can sell lots on that. He wouldn't be able to get building permits until the roads are in and the first layer of asphalt is on. That's part of the developer's agreement, which has been signed and is in process of being recorded. Along with the final plat, Mr. Spheres will be recording the declarations of restrictions. I've reviewed those with Dan, And basically, I review them to make sure that they're not in conflict with the town code in any way. There were a few, in our initial review, we did have a few items that we took care of to make sure we didn't have any conflicts. But the deed restrictions, which are not necessarily approved by the board, they're just recorded with it, are in order to be able to be recorded with that. Plan Commission approved it, the preliminary plat back in November of 2020. The statutes read that if the final plat conforms substantially to the preliminary plat, it's entitled for approval. This basically, this plat looks very close, if not exactly like the preliminary plat, and therefore it is available for approval. Plan Commission made a recommendation to approve, a unanimous recommendation to approve last week, and they did so, and recommend that to the board.
Said no major changes, right?
The layout is the same. There's always a,
Tweak
there's,
here and there.
there's updates, there's some notes on the second page that are required by the county. I know you can't read those, but the county requires certain notes because they have a large section of environmental corridor up in some of the lots, so that some of those notes relate to what they can do within the environmental corridor, things like that. But it is in a state that's ready for approval.
Motion to approve the final plat for the Retreat subdivision. John Spheris, developer. Looks like the final plat is dated September 23rd, 2021.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the final plat for the John Spears subdivision plat dated September 23rd, 2021. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Plat's approved. Thank you. All right, moving on to discussion and possible action on the adoption of Resolution 21-650, a resolution to define the ward map for the town of Delafield.
So this resolution is what we had discussed at the previous meeting regarding the boundary lines for the redistricting. It keeps all those wards under the population of 1,000. This resolution is very similar to the one that was adopted in 2011 when you redistrict then. It just basically updates the dates and then the exhibits. So this, once it's approved, goes to Waukesha County, and then they can finalize their map, and then we should be set. So
No changes in polling places or school districts or anything?
no changes to any of the boundaries at all or any of the polling locations.
Okay. Any
Make a
questions?
motion to approve the proposed ward map. Where am I lost here? Adopt resolution 21-650 to define the ward map for the town of Delafield.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 21-650, a resolution to define the ward map for the town of Delafield. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now, Dan, correct me, but this ward map will be good until the next census in 2030?
Correct.
Okay, great. Thank you. Discussion and possible action on the approval of the sale of land through a quitclaim deed to John and Julie Kitta for the property located on Hillcrest Drive, tax key delt 0773.980, contingent on the filing of a deed restriction.
All right, this property is, I've got my pointer on it right here. It's off of Hillcrest Drive. Last November, the electors voted to agree to sell the land, and that land is this little rectangular piece right here. That was, somehow that was a remnant piece that the county had owned, and I don't know if it's probably, when we redid a culvert through here, and because the water flows through here and then right along all the way out to the lake, right along their home. But basically, the town purchased that land, and we needed that so we could do the construction of that particular facility. We put a retaining wall there and a new culvert in there. The thought at that time was that we would then sell that land back to the Kitas. They're the ones that live here, and they needed that. I mean, they were the only one that made sense to have that. It's really a non-buildable lot, just a remnant lot that's sitting there. And so we went through the process earlier, I believe you went through the process earlier this year to say that we will sell it to the Kitas, but they have to do a certified survey map. So the Kitas have been looking around for surveyors. They called around. A number of them said they wouldn't do it because it's along the lake and it was too much work for them. To be honest with you, it's lake lots, and what they needed to do would be a lot of work. Also, the cost would be pretty substantial. It was in the like 3,000 to 5,000 range. And part of that is because it's along the lake, there was wetlands, there's a lot of lake-related issues associated with that. So Mrs. Kita came in and spoke with Dan and I and basically said, you know, it's not worth, I mean, they're buying it for $500, but it's not worth, you know, spending the $3,000 to $5,000 for a piece of land that they really can't do much with. Their access to their property actually is a shared access right here that they get to their property over here. So they're not necessarily going to use this for their driveway at this time. Maybe in the future, I don't know. We didn't really talk about that. But there really isn't a whole lot of room to do this because our retaining wall is right about there. So
And the culvert's there, yeah.
and the culvert's there. So they're probably going to still have the shared driveway
Yeah.
that they have there. Nevertheless, they basically said, could we do this by quitclaim deed? And all that does is then, if you see a lot of these where you got dashed lines with this little, I call it a connector bar, basically, they probably purchased this little piece of land at one time from someone else, and they connected it by just by deed to their property. And so we see them all over the place along the lake, along Maple Avenue, where people have purchased by quitclaim deed a property, connected it to it, and then that was allowed here. If they would ever do anything with their property, like want to rebuild on their property, it's more than likely the county will require them to do a certified survey map at that time to get rid of this line here because it goes through their house. That line is still there. It's two different descriptions, but the line is there. And so at that time, then they would get rid of this line and they would become one property without all the other lines in it. But for the sake of us getting rid of that property at this point in time, it makes sense that we do a quitclaim deed. We ran this by Attorney Larson, and I believe he prepared the document. Is that right?
He did, and he asked that it be contingent on filing a deed restriction that they can't sell that property to somebody else, that they would retain that property. So that's included in your packet.
Couple points of clarification. Eric, in full disclosure, was originally opposed to a quitclaim deed because it's not the perfect way to do it, and he's correct. We should do it with a certified survey map, but they're not going to buy it if we require a certified survey map. We don't want it. We bought it from the county, correct me, but we bought it from the county under a quitclaim deed.
Yes, that's
So
correct.
we're just transferring it to the Kitas for a quitclaim deed. And the compromise with Eric was the proposal to do the deed restriction, so it protects the town from them doing anything with the property. So the town's totally protected, and we're helping the Kitas get the property, and we're getting something that we don't want out of the town. And that was in what, 2016, if I remember right, 2017 when we redid Hillcrest?
About
15,
16, I think it was, somewhere in that range, 15, 16.
So why it's not the preferred method, it's a safe, effective way, and the town's protected.
And if the Kitas ever want to do anything as far as requiring a zoning permit from the county, they'll make them do a CSM,
Yeah.
not just because of that, but because of the dash line that they have from another
this
quitclaim
one
deed.
here.
So, basically any remodeling of their house is gonna require a zoning permit from the county, so.
And when they sell,
No, the
No,
deed
no.
restriction is, basically just says that the owner of that tax key can't separate it.
But would they have to,
They would
They
not
wouldn't
have to do it if they
a CSM
sold.
then?
It would
Oh.
just,
Unless they sold it to someone who wanted to do a tear down or
okay,
remodel.
Yes,
wanted to
yes.
remodel or do a tear down?
And
Got
then it would definitely have to be,
yeah. What triggers it is gonna be when they come in for a zoning permit to do something with a house or a garage or something like that, I mean, we have a lot of these where the house, the house or garage or whatever, mostly it's the building that sits, the line goes right through it, and technically, there should be a setback from that line,
Right.
and so,
It's a unique property that's got a storied history. I mean, that's technically two houses that they connected together.
yes.
And they didn't knock it down because they'd have to move it back and they would never be able to build as close to the lake. So
oh, they're right.
they're right on the lake,
Yep.
so.
Yeah. And it's not a zoning change, so they're not gonna change the zoning.
No,
They're coming
they're
to
not
get a
changing the
permit, a
zoning.
building permit.
Right, but if they need a zoning permit to do something more with the building,
Yeah.
addition or something like that, that's the trigger that the county will use to get a certified survey map. And you've seen them come through, you're gonna see one come through next month on Maple Avenue, someone wants to build it's a tear down and a rebuild, but they have a line right through the lot, so they're gonna, in order to create one lot out of two lots, in essence, and they do it by certified survey map, so.
So would that solid line going across, would that become a dotted line then?
Yeah, it would
It would disappear.
It would.
Or
go away.
would it actually go away
Well,
or
it-
just?
In the certified survey map, it would go away,
Right,
but this
with
would,
this,
the county will make this a dashed line with,
Dashed line,
with
okay.
one of the connector bars then.
Okay.
'Cause and it'll be all under one tax key number, the current tax key number,
And that's the key, that's what we want.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
okay.
Well, they've been doing us a favor by taking this property on, which is why it's unfair to make them spend $5,000, right?
Well,
for
the whole
CSM.
concept back when we did the road was, we'd buy it from the county and then we'd sell it to the Taquitas. We just,
Yeah, that was part of the deal back in
Yeah.
2015 when we approved to do the road. So it's finally coming to fruition. So motion to approve the sale of the triangle to the Kitas through quitclaim deed, contingent on the filing of the deed restriction that it must remain with the original tax key number and the original property.
Second.
all right, I have a motion and a second to approve the sale of the land through a quitclaim deed contingent on the filing of a deed restriction. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Discussion and possible action on the audit proposal from Raltroff Jensen SC for the 2021 financial audit. This is Howard.
Yeah, so this is just
This is a no-brainer.
Howard's contract for next year's audit.
His cost has gone down too, if I believe.
His cost has remained the same, but the budgeting that we did for other services that their company requires is down, I think, $10,000 from last
Yeah.
year, so.
Howard's great.
Motion to approve the audit proposal from Rutschroff Jensen SC for the 2021 financial audit.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the audit proposal for the 2021 financial audit. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Announcements and planning items. Town Board, Tuesday, October 26th at 6:30. Plan Commission, November 2nd at 2021 at 6:30. Budget public hearing, Tuesday, November 16th at 5:30. And Town Board of Electors on Tuesday, November 16th, immediately following the budget hearing. And let's not forget the Wednesday, October 27th meeting with the Town Association right here in the town.
Any indication if quorum's needed at the Plan Commission, Tuesday, November 2nd? Okay.
However, I just, since you brought it up, I'll just say, we're likely gonna have a draft lighting ordinance that the plan commission will discuss at that meeting. Okay, so if you wanna come out and listen to our discussions, probably no action, and it'll be the first time they see it. But we're gonna discuss lighting, commercial lighting, residential lighting, things like that.
So come to the town hall or stream it on YouTube at your convenience.
Yeah.
That's good.
And
We've been
I-
working on this ordinance for a while. That's good.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank Tim for all his work with the railroad, trying to get compliance for the quiet zone at KE and North Shore that went into effect on the 30th. So I appreciate all his help in chasing the emails, so.
Took a lot longer than it should.
It's not working well, and it's to the point where my contact with the FRA from Chicago is gonna come up this week and issue fines to the railroad for, the residents are keeping track of when they're blowing the horns, and it's not going well. So, and they basically, yesterday they told me they've never had so many problems with trains not following the rule. I don't know why we were picked on.
Do they sound the horn in the village of Pewaukee?
Yeah, the village is still, they don't have a quiet zone there.
Oh, they don't?
We
Okay.
have one at that crossing,
Yeah.
and then Heartland has theirs.
Okay. Yeah, I know we do and Heartland does. I thought they did too.
They're working on it.
They never followed through, and they're still having problems with some of their locations where they have the gates.
Sure.
They finished the physical work of getting the gates in, but right on Capitol Drive, right downtown, they're having some problems with cars backing up on the tracks. We're way off subject.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I'll motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion to
Second.
adjourn and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
No, I actually sent him an email.